On the Mac Truck Sports Podcast, we dive deep, talking ball games from NFL to the NBA, leap athletes, talking coaches, strategizing. Every episode, we bring you the latest. From soccer fields to tennis courts so vast. We cover every sport, night and day fast. Hear the stories, the wins, the losses too. Our passions for sports, no matter the crew. Mac Truck Sports, where the talk never ends. From the big leagues to the little friends. Get ready for the ride, we're just getting started. Mac Truck Sports, let's make this a...
Wow. Welcome back. Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. We're back after like over a month or so, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here and being patient. I know, like I said, I had a little bit of time constraints, so I had to push it back even a little bit more. But we're back. We're here. Welcome into another edition of the Mac Truck Podcast, the Mac Truck Show, by none other than the Tired Sports Network, along with TikTok Live. If you're here joining us, thank you. My name is Mac Truck. And obviously, if you're looking here on the StreamYard stream, it's a little bit different backgrounds because we're in a new spot, new studio, new house, completely different state. Long story short, moved out of Iowa, up here in Michigan, loving it. Okay. We're here to talk sports. We have so much to go over. It's ridiculous, y'all. But this first part of the program is brought to you by In My Bag Apparel, by none other than Evan Thunder Bradfield and the other half of the amazing duo that is the Bradfield brothers and Caleb Bradfield, and the amazing duo that is the Recognized Game Podcast. Make sure you're tuning into them as well on the Tired Sports Network, and make sure you're following everybody, everything, all of the shows presented to you on this Tired Sports Network. Like I said, my name is Mac Truck. I'm here with you today. We have all kinds of things. Gonna go over a little bit more of the life update. Gonna go over WNBA finals as well, with the MVP and the point guard. In terms of Chelsea Gray and the Vegas Aces, okay, the MVP herself, A'ja Wilson, WNBA champions for 2025. Crazy ending to that. I'm also going to recap some boxing here. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford, and how that went. Also going to recap UFC 320. It's going to be nuts out here. And I'm excited. I'm finally back in the seat. I'm here with y'all to talk sports. If you're not here to talk sports, then you can just scroll on by or enjoy a show, whichever one you prefer. But we're here. We're going to hop right into it. Like I said, thank you guys for joining us here on the Mac Truck Pod, the Mac Truck Show, all the things. If you're joining us on the TikTok feed, thank you so much for seeing me. On the screen, you're seeing the logo in the background rather than the studio background like everybody else. I appreciate it. Make sure you're tapping the screen, sharing, want to get into some sports here. So, like I said, life update. I moved out of state. Can't say out of sight, out of mind. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. Okay, sorry. As much as you want to. Not gonna be able to do it. Okay, listen, we're here. Moved up to Michigan, okay, with wife. Everybody, also, if you're in the TikTok chat, everybody in capital letters, type "Hey babe." She loves it. Whether she wants to admit it or not, just type "Hey babe" for me. Either way, I said needed a fresh start, had some things happen and not go my way in terms of just life and adulting itself. But, you know, that's what life is for, to teach you lessons and, you know, all the things. But we're here to talk sports, so we're going to hop right into it. Listen, the WNBA season, as if it wasn't already electric enough before. Okay, the Vegas Aces had one of the most memorable seasons in WNBA history. You have A'ja Wilson, who at this point is considered one of the few GOATs of the WNBA basketball sport itself. league MVP, finals MVP. The Vegas Aces have just figured out how to put it all together. They have been an installment and have had Becky Hammon as a head coach for 4 seasons now, and they now have WNBA championships 3 out of the 4 seasons that she has been a head coach for the Vegas Aces. Anybody that knows Coach Becky Hammon knows what she did with Coach Greg Popovich down in San Antonio with the Spurs pre-Wemby. Everybody knows the type of work she put in to propel herself back into a spot of relevancy. Not that she was ever out of relevancy, but just in terms of being able to grab a head coaching spot, she has turned the Las Vegas Aces into a machine of sorts. And it's been crazy out here just in the WNBA. But just to go over some stats, like I said, third ring out of 4 seasons. Like I said, Becky Hammon's been coach for 4 seasons now. A'ja Wilson's been there for 4 seasons. I mean, they've built and rebuilt and realigned their team in its entirety. I'm here for it, clearly. Like, if anybody knows me, y'all know I'm about sports. I'm about, hard work, determination, dedication, all the things, okay? And that is what the Aces have modeled, especially after this past offseason before 2025 season and getting all kinds of pickups in the offseason, getting Kristen Bell more minutes, and I'm not even going to lie, I have been kind of a hater of Kristen Bell because at some points I was just like, what had Kristen Bell done for the league? What has she done to stay on the team? She's done absolutely nothing until the past 2 or 3 seasons. I have a lot more respect for Kristen Bell now, which I feel like is really hard for me to admit because it just used to make me cringe because she would sit on the bench and not get any playing time. Sit on the bench and just do all kinds of stuff. But that's what happens when you're surrounded with a team full of dogs. Like I said, Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, who they picked up in the offseason in trades and waivers. Okay. Obviously, you still have, one of the GOATs in A'ja Wilson. Okay. Like, it's nuts to me. I am absolutely just beyond excited to see that the Aces are, champions again. Being an Indiana Fever fan, it hurt me to see the Fever lose, but the fact that we made it to the semis without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall was hurt. I mean, we had 6 players on the, hurt. Sid Colson tore her ACL. Erin McDonald broke her foot in the same game. I mean, anybody that knows the WNBA this season has known how much or how injury stricken rather the Indiana Fever has become. And I know some of those players that we got are, were on waiver hardships and 1-year contracts. And now I'm hoping that Lynn Dunn and the Indiana Fever general office and administration find a way to try to retain some of these players just to help build around the young core that we have. I mean, we still have Caitlin Clark. She's going to be fully healthy coming off, the offseason. Hopefully we still retain Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, they just gave her a max deal in the offseason before she came back from overseas. So it's just, it's crazy out here when it comes to WNBA, and not to mention the WNBA collective bargaining agreement, CBA, is currently being worked upon in terms of trying to get, the WNBA more money as it is. And we're going to get into that here in a little bit. But the one thing I do want to talk about, and again, if you guys are seeing this on all the streams, whether you're watching TikTok live, whether we're talking on any of the Discord, YouTube pages, Facebook pages, like, share, subscribe, make sure you're hitting the tapping the screens, all the things, sending gifts because sister need a new desk chair. So, Venmo's available, Cash App, gifts through TikTok. Matt Truck needs a new office chair. So let's get to that goal. Either way. So, and I know some of you guys that are really into the WNBA like me can't just be sitting here thinking like, how is Cathy Engelbert still the live representation in terms of being the president of the WNBA? I frankly, and I'm just going to go out there and say it, I can't stand Cathy Engelbert. She is one of the least empathetic people when it comes to her own damn employees on the face of this planet. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the playoffs this season for the WNBA, if you watched, followed along, all the things, everybody knows that Napheesa Collier got hurt during, I believe it was game 3 of the first round of the WNBA playoffs, playing the Phoenix Mercury with Alyssa Thomas, with DeWanna Bonner, Kalia Copper, with those individuals playing the game that lived basketball. Unfortunately, Fee got hurt bad It was a very badly missed call by the officiating. And anybody knows, again, that watches the WNBA, have seen the WNBA, all the things, knows that the officiating in the WNBA has been absolutely garbage. The entirety of its entirety. The officiating in the WNBA has been one of the worst things to talk about in sports because they don't officiate very well. They pick and choose. And unfortunately, it's almost like the Kansas City Chiefs effect as of prior years. Not so much now, but when we'll get into some football and things later. Fact of the matter is, the WNBA officiating is absolutely terrible. It is absolutely garbage, and it costed somebody an injury in the rest of their season. Now, more or less, Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, the championship Minnesota Lynx, as of last season, went on record essentially just to really grill the officiating and the leadership of Kathy Engelbert and the front office of the WNBA. Napheesa Collier also did the exact same thing and got fined. Cheryl Reeves got fined. Napheesa Collier got fined. Coach Stephanie White for the Indiana Fever, and now three-time champion Becky Hammon also got fined for backing up Napheesa Collier. In a nutshell, said she got hurt in the second round of playoffs, criticized the WNBA officiating in the front office by essentially saying Engelbert is the world's worst leader in sports, because she is. She has publicly denied things several times over, and the most recent thing that she's publicly denied is the fact that when players come to the public eye to let people know what has happened or what hasn't happened in the light of their supposed leader, president, CEO, whatever that looks like, why would people lie about that? Like, who really has the time or the energy to try to go on record to lie about that? Like, make that make sense. Does it happen? Absolutely. But if anybody's watched the WNBA and how much it's grown, and the fact that these players in the WNBA have done nothing but work and play the game of basketball and are constantly getting compared to the fact or not getting compared to their counterparts in the NBA. Yes, everybody knows that the NBA supports the WNBA financially and has since it started. But the other thing people don't realize or fail to do their own research with is the fact that the WNBA has grown. So the amount of financial stability that the NBA has essentially needed to help with has dwindled some, and it's about to start to dwindle some more again with the CBA coming up. Essentially, Napheesa Collier called out Kathy Engelbert. Kathy Engelbert literally denied it publicly, then had the mitigated goal, and I quote, to say this. and I'm laughing before I read this because it's just so asinine to me. Like, you cannot call yourself a leader of sorts and bash one of your employees, players, whatever that. And unfortunately, it came at the expense of Caitlin Clark. And it seems to come at the expense of young talent that seem to outshine the WNBA office. Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Kennedy Carter when she was, a rookie, just all kinds of things. So essentially, Kathy Engelbert basically said that Caitlin Clark should be grateful to be making as much money outside of the WNBA as she is right now. First of all, Kathy, Cassandra, Catherine, whatever you want to call yourself, you have absolutely zero right to be saying she needs to be grateful for making money outside the WNBA. She was making money before she got into the WNBA, ma'am. The reason your stat lines were up in 2024 alone was because of Caitlin Clark and that entire rookie class and two rookie classes before that, if we're really going to get into it. So you should probably stop biting the hand that pays your ass. Let's just get down to it. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just call it what it is. You jealous. I'm sorry. You just jealous because not one person, not nobody is talking in any good iota about you. And I mean, and unfortunately it's been proven time and time again. And the last time I checked, the NBA doesn't have a lot of players playing overseas in the offseason to make their money. Obviously, because, yes, the NBA is bigger. It's been around. It obviously, like, we know the schematics and the semantics to it. Fact of the matter is, you don't see the NFL players playing in an off-season league. A lot of them are now wanting to play flag because it's now considered an Olympic sport and a collegiate sport and all the things. That is also an option, but you don't see them necessarily having to join a team outside of their own to get paid to play the sport that they're already getting paid to play. If you were paying the players adequately, again, I said adequately, not equally, adequately, there's a difference. And if I have to go into it again, I will, but I ain't going to do it right now. There's a difference between getting paid adequately and getting paid equally. This entire time, this entire season for the WNBA, the only thing that the WNBA players have wanted is to be paid adequately, which also, again, includes the percentage of jersey sales. That is literally 3/4 of your adequate pay right there. Why are none of these ladies getting paid money from their merchandise? Make that make sense, please. If somebody has a guide for me to read about this making sense, please send it to me. Give me a link, send it to me, hard copy, I'll read, I don't give a damn. Fact of the matter is, you should not be saying players should be out here being grateful and thankful that they're making money outside the league while you're sitting here on your cushy-ass job in your corner office with your gold-plated nameplate across the door talking about she should be grateful. Well, she was already making more money than you before she even stepped foot on a WNBA court. So, I mean, we're just going to keep it 100. Fact of the matter is you don't publicly deny that. And then on top of that, Napheesa Collier also canceled her end of season interview, or end of season meeting rather, with Cathy Engelbert. And I frankly don't blame her one damn bit. I don't blame her at all. I do not. And I'm quite glad that Napheesa Collier has done what she has done and called her front office, in terms of the league front office, and Cathy Engelbert out. Frankly, I would love for them to be to push her out. I would love for there to be another candidate ready to go to fill her spot. Hell, I could do it. Hire me. Because at this point, what the league needs is actual representation from its front office leadership. Cathy Engelbert ain't that lady. Cathy Engelbert is just tell you that right now. It's quite infuriating, frankly, but people suck. Leadership sucks. Money, when you get paid a lot of money, you think you can start slipping on your job and oh, I'm the commissioner of this or I'm the commissioner of that. I'm just gonna screw off, right? And then try to leave the job of promoting the leagues in a good way to your players. Their job is to play the sport that they get paid to play. Your job is to represent the league, whatever league that may be, in a well-mannered place. Okay. And again, thank you guys for joining me again. This is another edition of the Mac Truck Podcast, presented to you by In My Bag Apparel, as well as the Tired Sports Network, here on the TikTok Live, TikTok Shop. We love TikTok Shop, StreamYard, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Discord, all of the things. Okay. StreamYard as well. You can follow me on pretty much any social media. Ain't hard to find. You know the deal. Moving on into more WNBA news. And this is more of a 2-for-1, especially because this just happened about 30-ish minutes ago before I hopped on. Okay, listen. Sandy Brondello got fired by the New York Liberty for some unbeknownst reason. Some unbeknownst reason, the New York Liberty decided to kick Sandy Brondello to the curb. Why? I have absolutely no damn clue. She brought you an entire championship and then some, and her tenure there, when you just won last season. Like, y'all were just the WNBA champions last season, and Minnesota was the champions the year before that. So why New York, you felt the need to kick Sandy Brondello out of the league? I mean, even the likes of Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, the entirety of her team was so confused by this random move that New York did. And still to this day, there's no actual reasoning as to why they kicked Sandy Brondello to the curb. But I can tell you this, as of, like I said, just about 30 minutes ago, Sandy Brondello is now the head coach for the current expansion team that will be happening in 2026, the Toronto Tempo. I'm going to just call it right now. The Toronto Tempo is probably going to go to the first round of the playoffs, kind of like the Valkyries did. And shout out to the Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries had a star-studded amazing year. Like, I'm just sitting here like, how is this even a thing? Y'all, and it's the fact that they picked up so many good players from so many good teams. And that's the other thing, is some people don't understand how like expansion teams work. So I'm just breaking it down real fast for you. So when you have an expansion team coming into a league that's not already an installment, they have what's called an expansion draft. So like last year, the Golden State Valkyries All the other teams in the league had 6 players that they could lock down, say these players are not available, but everybody else on their roster was free game. So that's how they drafted for the Golden State Valkyries. For example, Kate Martin got drafted to the Aces in the 2024 draft or 2023 draft rather, for the Aces out of Iowa. Played with the Aces and then got traded to the Valkyries this season. She was one of those players that did not get held in that core 6. So she got drafted. There was a bunch of Monique Billings got drafted. Caitlin Chen got drafted right out of the gate off of the 2024 draft. So, or 2025 draft rather. So you basically get to have your pick and draft players from other teams that are unavailable, that are not walked into that team of 6 core that teams keep. So just a little bit of that. So Sandy Brondello is going to literally have the same exact thing that the Golden State Valkyries had. And she's going to have pretty much free reign outside of the top 6 from each team that she can build her team on, and including the 2026 draft, which includes Olivia Miles. It includes Reagan Beers from Oklahoma, and this women's college basketball season is going to be nuts, just so you guys know. So the closer it gets to college basketball season, the more we're going to talk about this, because right after college basketball season, the WNBA starts to gear up. Right, we also had NBA last night. We're going to touch on that just a little bit, but we're going to touch more about it tomorrow when we go over tomorrow's docket and everything. So it's going to be nuts out here. But just in terms of the WNBA and the lack of leadership from Kathy Engelbert, I think they need a new president, frankly. That's just me. I'm also very biased. I do not like Kathy Engelbert. So some people love her. I mean, to each their own, right? You like it, I love it type of thing. But we are going to move on into the next topic of discussion here on the Mac Truck Podcast. Again, make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, tap the screen, send gifts, all the things. If you're looking at the TikTok stream, if you're looking on anywhere else, Facebook, StreamYard, Discord, all the things, like, share, subscribe. Also, make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing everything on the Tired Sports Network, not limited to, but including the Recognized Game podcast with Evan and Caleb Bradfield. Okay. Also, make sure you're recognizing the fact that there are a lot of other different shows on the network, not just the Truck Show, not just Recognized Game, all kinds of smorgasbord. Okay. Sorry in advance, Beer and Cheese Pod. Listen, thank you in advance. We got all kinds of shows over here on the network. So make sure, if you are really craving sports content, no matter what it is, make sure you're following the network, because that's where you're going to get all your stuff. Also, if you're in the Des Moines or Clive surrounding area and you need a haircut, make sure you hit up Truth Shop. 8421 University Avenue, Suite N, Clive, Iowa. The beard and barber stylings of Duke Truth the Barber. Okay? And make sure you tell them the Mac Truck sent you, because if you didn't, you wouldn't know. And like I said, if it wasn't for me, y'all wouldn't know about all this. So make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, because everybody that's a small business or entity is trying to get there and make it big, and we can't do that without y'all help. So, moving on. Listen, I love it here. I'm so glad to be back. I don't think y'all really understand how, glad I am to be back into this space. I am just literally, I'm itching to be here. Been itching to be here. Okay, listen. Moving on. NFL talk. And we got NFL, college football right here on the way. So thank you for tuning in. Now, again, since we haven't been on for a little bit of this is outdated, but still needs to be talked about. Brian Branch of the Detroit Lions got suspended for a game. Specifically, his actions after the Kansas City Chiefs handed the Detroit Lions a kind of a rough loss on Sunday Night Football. Kansas City ended up winning that game 30-17. Kansas City is a good team. Everybody knows how good Kansas City is. Even Detroit knows how good Kansas City is. And the Detroit Lions is one of the best teams in NFL right now. However, what we won't condone is terrible sportsmanship. Unfortunately for Brian Branch, he has a history of terrible sportsmanship. Specifically on other teams, but more or less specifically speaking about 2 games ago. He did have to serve a 1-game suspension because he decided it was going to be a good idea to fight Juju Smith-Schuster because they lost. Juju tried to go up to him, give him some dap, give him some sportsmanship like they do after every sporting event, just like you should do in life. Okay, when you lose at something or whatever have you. Brian Branch wasn't having it. Slugged him in the nose, and it was on it. It was pretty much on and popping from there. Patrick Mahomes obviously went on the record and said, we win our games and win our fights in the lines on the field, and that's exactly where it should be. Okay, and the fact for me is the teams that these players come from in terms of accountability is amazing. Some people would think like, oh, you get paid millions of dollars, so I'm not going to be a good sport. No, that's not how this works. I could get paid $1 and still need to remain a good sport. Okay. And just a quote from Dan Campbell, who, for those you don't know, Dan Campbell is the head coach for the Detroit Lions, better known as MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, states, he apologizes to the Chiefs and to Juju Smith-Schuster, loves Brian Branch, but he said it was very inexcusable, and that's not what we do. As one knows how DC runs and how most teams should run and should operate in terms of being good sports. Brian Branch, again, like I said, has a history of bad sportsmanship. Suspended for a game without pay, mind you. Some people get suspended with pay. Some people get suspended without pay. It depends on the severity of the issue situation. Unfortunately for Brian Branch, he got suspended for a game without pay. Hopefully that'll teach him his lesson. It's a very similar to what happened at the very top of the NFL season with Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott during Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football that very first week of the NFL season. We don't do that, guys. Okay, listen. And this is what infuriates me about some people in the NFL and just really the Power Six of sports. You should not be getting so upset afterwards that you can't be a good sport. Because the last time I checked team sports, or just that, team sports, okay? It's not just one person that wins a game. It's not just one person that loses a game. It's not just one coach that wins a game. It's not just one coach that loses a game. These are the things that people don't understand when it comes to life in general, apparently. And that's okay. But, there's also consequences to your actions. I unfortunately had to learn that today too. Or relearn that. It's fine. Things happen. Gotta grow a bigger pair and move on. Sometimes it's hard for a little bit others. It is what it is. Either way. Frankly, I think Brian Branch should have been suspended for 2 games because why are you punching people? Literally, why are you punching people? Because that's assault. Just like spitting on somebody is also assault. But, the league office thought it was appropriate. Suspended 1 game, no pay. Okay, great. So what happens if he does it again? You're going to suspend him for multiple games without pay? What does that look like? Hopefully there's not a second reason or a second time. You never want to hope that there's a secondary issue time or, place where that happens again. But again, just like I say, whether good, bad, ugly, or in between, okay? Any given day, game day, anything can happen. It's quite unfortunate. But doesn't have to be. Learn to control your emotions. Sometimes you have to have amnesia. Either way, moving on. We got an injury list that we have to go through. And this is just kind of a testament as to how rough the NFL season for just individual players as a whole has been. Fred Warner broke his ankle, out for the season. Lamar Jackson, who just came back to practice, mind you, was out for the past 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. Joe Burrow out till December, grade 3 turf toe. If you have ever played a turf sport or a court sport, you should know what turf toe is and how bad it sucks. Just coming off of 15 years of playing in the Women's Tackle Football League, I've had my share of turf toe. It sucks. It's not fun. So anybody that wants to sit here and go, oh, it's just turf toe. No, I want you to go out there and have your toes stepped on and try to get your grip into the ground, trying to run with a sore big toe. It sucks. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Emoka Ibuka also had a hamstring. I believe he's back at practice now. Darius Slay has a shoulder. Brock Purdy also turf toe. George Kittle, who's back, had a hamstring injury. Ricky Pearsall had a knee injury. And then just the latest as of, I believe, Monday Night Football, Mike Evans is now out for the season with a broken clavicle. If anybody watched that game, it was a very rough game for Tampa Bay. Mike Evans is one of the best receivers in NFL football. out with a broken clavicle. Like, first of all, I literally didn't even know you could break your clavicle in football. But then I realized that, like, Aaron Rodgers had that done to him a long time ago, when he was still in Green Bay. So it is possible. It's just very few and far in between. But this is also why I preach, like, recovery, as I hate the recovery process and taking a break. I'm such a hypocrite when it comes to that, and it's fine. I'm just stubborn. I've been an old stubborn athlete all my life, and I don't see myself stopping. So, it's interesting, though, to see how some of these teams operate without some of their stars. I mean, again, we can go back to the 49ers. Nick Bosa, out for the season. I believe he tore his ACL right before preseason. I mean, there's been just a lot of just ridiculous injuries, repeat injuries. Anthony Richardson, also one of those people on the injury list as well. So, you always want to try to figure out, like, these people are getting paid millions of dollars, and it has to suck when they get hurt and they're not able to fulfill, that part of their job in terms of actually physically playing the game, all the things. So it's really rough out here. But I mean, the NFL season as a whole has just been completely killer. Like, just teams that have never looked like they were going to have a chance suddenly look like they've been out here to say hi, to say hi and bye, and really show that they're a team. And then you have teams like the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody knows I'm a Dallas fan. Everybody knows I'm a realistic Dallas fan. I will say, with the Dallas Cowboys as a whole having the number one offense in football right now still amazes me. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we have CeeDee Lamb, we have George Pickens, we have Jake Ferguson, okay? Like, Dak Prescott, obviously. Like, the entirety of the offensive line, who we've had to really kind of put pieces together because our core offensive linemen have been hurt also. Okay. I'm here for it. What I'm not here for, however, is how slow the defense has started off this season. The past 3 games, however, have looked completely different. I'm trying to figure out where they came from. Why is this just now happening? I mean, Deron Bland is back. Trayvon Diggs is healthy again. I got Kenny Clark plugging up that middle. And as you guys know, Kenny Clark was a part of a Green Bay trade with Micah Parsons, sending Micah Parsons there, sending Kenny Clark down to Dallas. It's been wild in football and just in Dallas Cowboy territory in general. Everybody still hates Jerry Jones, myself included. I'm not a huge fan of him. All the things. But again, any given game day, anything can happen, good, bad, ugly, or in between. So, moving on into the next topic here on the Mac Truck Podcast. Again, I thank you guys for joining us. You can follow me on pretty much any social media: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Fitness, really anything. You can also follow my Spotify pages, that type of thing, YouTube, all the things. Like, share, and subscribe if you like all things sports. I'm just a young woman out here giving my sports opinions and my experience through an old athlete's point of view. I love it here. It's a little hot in the studio. It's fine. Also, if you're still in the comments, everybody write in capital letters, say, hey, babe, because she loves it. Don't let her lie to you. Always got to plug, babe. Okay? We're talking college football now. One of my favorite subjects on planet Earth. I love it here. If you're not a college football fan, I don't know what you're doing with your life, whether you watch it just to watch a little bit or whether you're watching it because you're actually fully invested. I am completely invested. Now, we'll talk about my team in a little bit, but biggest news, Billy Napier, former coach of the Florida Gators, was released this week of his job duties. And then I think something even bigger outside of that, James Franklin, the now former head coach for the Penn State Nittany Lions, was also relieved of his duties as of last week. And I don't think anybody that's watched college football or that's watched Penn State as a whole, I don't think anybody was surprised, especially because Penn State is now 3-4 on the season. They started out 3-3 going into they started out 3-2 going into the Northwestern game, and then lost and got their behinds handed to them by UCLA, and then lost by 1 point versus Northwestern. James Franklin literally went on the post-game interview, post-game chats, and basically said that entire loss was on him. And that's something I've always loved about James Franklin, is that he takes ownership right away. He doesn't try to say, oh, well, we did this. No, he puts that on himself as well as the players have. And that's what you're supposed to do as a team, because like I said before, it's a team sport. It's a team win. It's a team loss. It's not an individual win or individual loss type of thing. So on top of that, unfortunately, Drew Allar's college career has also come to an end. Drew Allar was the starting quarterback for the Penn State Nittany Lions until he tore his ACL that same game in terms of losing to Northwestern. And it sucks because Drew Allar was getting more votes towards the Heisman. He was also getting more draft look in terms of the NFL draft for 2026. This is, I believe, his last year of college eligibility. So even with an injury, I still think he's going to go to the NFL. Drew Allar's a good quarterback. That kid can sling the ball. He's got legs. His field IQ is ridiculous. Okay. Him and James Franklin together have taken the Penn State Nittany Lions to multiple Big Ten championship appearances, has a Big Ten championship win as well, a college football playoff appearance as well. James Franklin also just really rebuilt the entirety of the Penn State program. I mean, they've produced obviously people like Saquon Barkley. Okay. I mean, do I need I say more? Need I say more? I mean, Saquon Barkley as really one of the biggest people that James Franklin has produced. On top of that, he won 104 games with double digits about 6 to 7 times in a 12-year tenure as a head coach, which is nothing to laugh about. Getting 2 or 3 wins and trying to string them together in college or professional sports and still be considered dominant or relevant is hard to do. The fact that he done that for 12 seasons or more is highly respectable. I mean, unfortunately, the 3-3 start and now 3-4 start after having lost to Iowa last weekend didn't help. I mean, interim coach, Coach Terry Smith for Penn State, I like him. I hope Penn State does better throughout the season and they lock him in as coach next year. He's nuts. I was like, I see him flying up and down the sidelines, getting in people's face like, we need to play better, getting the referees. Listen, that's the type of coach I like. That's the type of coach I've been used to having. And I think the other thing is with the modern day of college football, we're starting to see like the younger, modern thinking coaches get those head coaching roles. So, I mean, a perfect example, you have Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. You have Seth Wallace at Iowa as far as assistant coaching. You have Kalen DeBoer, who's in his second season as Alabama's head coach, taking over the reins for Nick Saban. I mean, now you have a couple of vacancies. And in fact, Curt Cignetti, who just signed a massive deal through the University of Indiana, who's ironically enough now a football school, which I never considered Indiana to be just like a one sport school, but they definitely weren't a football school up until the past 2 seasons, maybe 3, as they were like working their way up to what they have now. Curt Cignetti literally gets an 8-year, $92.8 million extension for 8 years. Like I said, he's now the 3rd highest paid coach in college football, following Ryan Day at $12.5 million per year, and Kirby Smart, head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, at $13 million per year. Curt Cignetti comes in annually a year at 11.6, which again makes him the 3rd highest paid head coach in college football. Listen, Coach Curt Cignetti, I absolutely love. I need some of him in my life. Okay, Cignetti he is him. Curt Cignetti is him. I love it. He was also on the watch list in terms of filling in that coaching position at Penn State until they gave him that massive contract. And frankly, I'm surprised they didn't give him that massive contract last year. But obviously, negotiations, caps, that type of thing had to go into play, I'm sure. So right now, Curt Cignetti is the 3rd highest paid head coach in college football. We love it. I don't want to go off on a limb and say that Curt Cignetti is going to win the college football national championship, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Indiana Hoosiers give them a run for their money. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. I don't think Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers take lightly to anybody the rest of the season. Okay. Outside of the fact that they dang near lost to Iowa in Iowa. And obviously I'm salty about it because I'm an Iowa fan, as you see. Alum, all things a Hawkeye. I mean, listen, look at the background if you can see it on the other stream. I see y'all on the TikTok stream. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for being on the other streams as well. Listen, man, college football as in its entirety is ridiculous in such a good way. But I will tell you this. The one team to me that has just kind of, and I've followed this team before. I've also kind of just been following them in and out off of seasons that I don't follow them on, like my yearly college watch list. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are out here. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are still undefeated at number 7, I believe. They're either number 7 or number 13 on the AP Top 25 poll. I'm taking them to beat Georgia, frankly. I mean, Georgia's Georgia. Georgia's always going to be a powerhouse, always has been a powerhouse. Obviously, this week in college football, it's a lot of in-state rivalries. You have the University of Michigan State game. I hate both teams, but I'm going for Michigan State. I mean, you have Alabama, Auburn. You've got you had Iowa State at the top of the season. Don't get me started. Don't know why that game is at the top of the season. It drives me absolutely nuts. We got all kinds of rivalries this weekend, and it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. In its entirety, though, I'm taking Georgia Tech by 3 points to beat Georgia, but I don't know if the game is at Sanford Stadium or if it's at Tech. I think it's at Tech. If any of my Georgia Tech friends are watching this, please correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, it's crazy out here. Sports in general is nuts. Clearly, as you can tell, I love all kinds of sports. We still have a lot of stuff to talk about here in the next couple minutes. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Now we're hopping into the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm kind of impressed. When I mean kind of, I mean very much impressed because somehow we just keep winning these games and by 1 point. We can't seem to cover, but that's okay. Sometimes covering ain't what it's about. Winning, you only have to win by 1 point. 1 point wins, 1 point more wins. That's how that's done. But that's how it's also done when it comes to Iowa sports in general. Iowa sports in general are known for grinding it out. That's exactly what they did this past weekend against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, anybody that has ever been to Kinnick Stadium knows that it's already an electric atmosphere during the day, but playing Kinnick Stadium at night is a completely different world. It's like going into a black hole. Ask Ohio State in 2017. Ask Penn State now. Ask Iowa State. Ask any team that has played that knows. Unfortunately, the Penn State Nittany Lions were the victims of this week's Penn State Iowa black hole in Kinnick Stadium. Mark Gronowski, okay. I'm really not sure what planet he dropped on or dropped from. However, I'm not going to sit here and, lose my mind because he didn't throw the ball much. I'm going to praise him because I don't know any other quarterback since Brad Banks and or Drew Tate to have over 100 rushing yards in a game. Mark Gronowski set his own record at 130 rushing yards during this game last week. Let me just throw that out there. Mark Gronowski, number 11 starting quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes, who has bad knees. By the way, let me tell you, this man has knees that are about as bad as mine. Okay. Anybody knows me? I figure skated for 17 years of my life. I also fight MMA. I just got done playing football, so I got good knees like him. I got maggot knees, as y'all want to say. Okay. Mark Gronowski, again, 130 rushing yards. And the game was such a back and forth. It was such a chess match. It was definitely shot for shot. It was nuts. Mark Gronowski took it upon himself to run 67 yards. He didn't even need to. He literally told the team at the 2-minute warning, or the 2-minute timeout rather, that we don't have to get it all, we don't have to get the first down all in one and then ends up ripping a 67-yard dash down the sideline to essentially lock in the win. I was up 25-24. I really thought they was going to try to score again, but anybody that knows Kirk Ferentz knows that how old school he is, likes to try to stay humble, all the things. I completely understand. However, this is 2025, Kirk, not 1955 or 2005. Score the damn ball. This is why Iowa doesn't get the respect that they should on the AP polls, and frankly, I'm sick of it. There's also zero reason why the University of corn-fed Nebraska should be on a top 25 before Iowa. Okay? Lincoln Memorial West should not be on the polls before we are. Unfortunately, if Iowa doesn't lose to Iowa State, we're probably in the top 25 and still in the top 25. It's very much wild to me. However, we're not even going to get into how I feel about Kirk Ferentz thus far. Fact is, you got to keep winning, and that's what I was doing. Okay, Iowa plays Minnesota this weekend, 7:30 in Kinnick Stadium. Again, dark hole, Kinnick at night, playing the University of Minnesota. And this is a message for PJ Fleck and any Gopher fans. Revenge will be had. Y'all won on a technicality last year and the year before because of some Big 12 ref that doesn't know how to ref football. Okay. I'm going to throw that out there. And anybody that disagrees don't know football. And if I need to remind y'all, Cooper DeJean, okay, punt return specialist, safety, corner, D-back extraordinaire, Super Bowl champion as a rookie, and had a pick six on his birthday last year playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, anybody that knows football, you wave your hand in the air for a fair catch, or you're yelling and screaming at your front line to say, block here so I can pick up the ball and run, which is exactly what he did. Almost got tackled, spun out of it, and took a 145-yard dash down the sideline and through the middle of the field to score, and they called it back because they said him doing this was a fair catch. That's not a thing. It was a whole controversy, and still to this day, I'm pretty sure that referee doesn't have a job anymore. Either way, you can't leave it in the hands of the referees. But what we will do is we will get our revenge because you have to come to Kinnick Stadium. You guys are terrible at Kinnick Stadium. I'm just going to throw that out there for those of you who don't know the history of Minnesota versus Iowa in Kinnick. Iowa still holds the series win, obviously. But I'll tell you this. PJ Fleck got a good team going over there this year. I may not like him as a coach, but them boys over there in Minneapolis, they're going to give us a little bit of running for our money, but not for long. First of all, you got to stop Mark Gronowski. And then saying that, okay, you can stop him in the run, but you got to defend the pass on the outsides. Iowa's called tight end university for a reason. Okay? We use our tight ends very well. Haven't the past couple years, new offensive coordinator, but now we're starting to get back into it. Reese Vandersee, okay? Wide receiver, big wide receiver, 6'6", one of the biggest wide receivers in college football. Finally starting to get targets, finally starting to get completions. We're getting tight ends. Okay. Zach Ortworth, same thing. Addison Ostrenga's out still, this year, unfortunately. Ankle injury, knee injury, lower leg injury, whatever you want to call it. He's out currently. Okay. And not to mention, we have a badass backup quarterback named Hank Brown. Love him. He can sling the rock too. I need him to get a little bit more playing time because these next couple games that we have, not going to be fun. But in order for us to look good going into the actual polls for college football that count, starting in November, getting closer to the college football playoff run, we need to start stringing together some wins. But with the offense that we have, it is very high efficiency when we can throw the ball, when we can actually operate. And I would love to see Minnesota stop that big old tackle himself, big old man out of the University of Iowa, Jennings Dunker. The man eats 10,000 calories on game day. I'm trying to cut 10,000 calories, and this man's eating 3 different steaks, 2 bowls of cereal. Like, that man's diet is ridiculous. And I'm for it, frankly. Here for it. Need it. If I could eat like that and still look like the hourglass that I have going on right now, life would be splendid. Okay? Either way, fact of the matter is, college football is upon us, and it's not going anywhere for a while, folks. If you don't like sports, not really sure what you're watching my show for, but if you like sports, you don't know much, you're just here to enjoy it, I appreciate you. If you're a hater, great. Thanks for making me famous. Anyway, moving on. Into the next topic. This topic is brought to you by the Patent Spirits, Daniel and Jen Patton, and their patented line of adult beverage spirits. Make sure you're hitting them up on Instagram at THEMPATTONS on Instagram. And make sure you tell them the Mac Truck sent you. Also, make sure you're getting all your merchandise from In My Bag Apparel, including Mac Truck merchandise. If you've got merchandise, everything has been sent out, even if you ordered a long time ago. Because I had to move all the things. Things have been sent out. I do still have some overstock. If you are interested, send me a message. Hit me up. We'll get it to you. You can rock it. Got some new merchandise coming as well. So stay tuned. Listen, I love the fact that I'm back. Listen, here for it. Okay. Now we're getting into boxing. One of my favorite sports. Oh, I love pugilistic sports. This is also why I still live for combat sports and getting punched in the face myself. Also brought to you by McDonald's Iced Coffee. If you've never had McDonald's Iced Coffee, you should get you some. And yeah, if you have a wife, get her some and steal hers too. That's what I do. Listen, just about a month ago, we had one of the best boxing matches known to date. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Okay? Listen, let me just preface my comments by saying this. Nobody thought that this fight would actually happen because they are 2 weight classes apart, naturally. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Terrence Bud Crawford, Midwestern boy, mind you, from Omaha, Nebraska, literally from a state over from my home state of Des Moines, Iowa. Literally. Des Moines, Iowa and Omaha, Nebraska are damn near the same state, same city. I don't care what nobody say. Bud Crawford hails from the Midwest. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez, Saul Canelo Alvarez, I should say. Obviously, Mexican-born fighter. One of the best boxers to grace a boxing ring along with Terrence Bud Crawford. Listen, everybody that's anybody pick Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. Don't sit here and tell me you didn't pick him to win this fight because of his pedigree and all this. But y'all forgot who Terrence Crawford was, clearly. Last time I checked, Terrence Crawford has not lost a fight and hadn't lost a fight. Came into this fight undefeated. Canelo Alvarez came into this fight 62-2-2. 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 no contests. The only 2 losses Canelo Alvarez suffered were to Gennady Golovkin. And some of those are still on the fence, frankly. He literally should have won one of those. I'm not even going to lie to you. Either way, and 39 of those wins were knockouts, for the record. For those of you who know boxing, know how it works, 39 of Canelo Alvarez's wins were KOs. That's nuts. On the flip side, Terrence Crawford came in this fight 42-0-0, 42 wins, no losses, no contests. Came in 41-0, now 42-0, 31 KOs, which is also ridiculous. The fact that you can knock out somebody one time and win, and you did it another 30 times is ridiculous to me. I'm for it though, but that's how boxing works. It's the sweet science, okay? And anybody that watched this fight saw Canelo Alvarez get pieced up from round 1, essentially. Nuts to me. And the fact that they have so much respect for each other is what I loved most about this fight outside of just the boxing itself. Because when you have these like super fights and you have these like, these fights that the fans want and all the things and money drivers, like it's hard for people to really get into it. But the fact that they remained so humble about their own success and remained so respectful about the other one's success leading into this fight is nuts. But Terrence Crawford told people, don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. Literally said it over and over and over again. And even Canelo was telling people how much respect he had for Bud Crawford and how tough of a fight it was going to be. I mean, the judges also found it the same way. All 3 judges scored this scorecard 116, 112, 115, 113, and 115, 113 twice over. Unanimous decision going to Bud Crawford. Listen, Bud Crawford won all 4 of those belts. So WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO, which are all boxing federations, by the way. This is and it's crazy to me that Canelo only has lost 3 fights in his entire professional boxing career. Like, even to be like a Floyd Mayweather who never lost. Terrence Crawford, who has never lost, is nuts to me. Clarissa Shields, who has never lost, and I can't wait to see her back. I mean, we're going to get to her tomorrow. And the fact that people still are doubting Terrence Crawford is nuts to me. Like, I want to see y'all get in the ring and spar me, let alone Terrence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez. Okay? Like, why are y'all doubting this man? This man is a switch stance boxer and will pick you apart for fun. Like, what? I don't know no other boxer that can do that outside of the ones that I've just listed and outside of, obviously, pioneers of the sport, things like that. It's absolutely nuts to me. But we're going to move on into some upcoming boxing matches. And really, I feel like this one should have happened before Crawford and Canelo. But it's happening on November 14th. In Miami, Florida on Netflix. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. This is absolutely a money grab. And the fact that Jake Paul is the A side of this fight is crazy to me. Jake Paul is a good boxer. I can't even sit here and lie to you. Jake Paul is a good boxer. But I don't know if he's real yet. If he somehow actually beats Tank in this exhibition, then we can talk. But we also now can't say that he's not fighting current or relevant boxers. He fought Tommy Fury and lost. He fought Mike Tyson. That was a joke because you paid him a bunch of money. You paid Mike Tyson a bunch of money to lose. So it would look good on your record. Okay. Now you're fighting Tank Davis. Tank Davis is also one of the best boxers on planet Earth. And you're fighting him in an exhibition and you think that you want to be a champion? You should probably put yourself out on the actual pro circuit. But who knows? Maybe that's his plan after he fights Tank Davis. Maybe he picked Tank Davis to see how he could actually fare against an actual live boxer. When I mean live, I'm talking like active on the boxing rankings. And again, if you guys are just joining me, thank you for joining another edition of the Mac Truck Podcast, the Mac Truck Show, presented to you by the Tired Sports Network, as well as TikTok Live, StreamYard, Facebook, Discord, and all the other things. My name is Mac Truck. We're here talking about boxing and the upcoming match with Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. Like I said, it's going to be a cruiserweight match, which means they agree on a weight that each one of them needs to get to. So it's not an actual weight class, which I feel like is still heavy. Is not heavy, but it's still hard to judge because Tank Davis is 5'6", 5'5". Jake Paul is 6'3". I'm 5'10". I'm right in the middle of the both of them. And just picturing the height discrepancy of the two is crazy to me because I don't even know if Jake Paul can punch that low. But I know that Tank Davis can punch that high because everybody in his division is taller than him. So either way, like I said, cruiserweight 10-round exhibition match also on this card. And I think I'm more excited for this fight than I am the main event. But Tank Davis being one of my favorite boxers, I'm excited. Alicia Baumgartner comes back to the ring to face Leah Bowden for the IBF, IW, or WBO and WBA titles at 140. Oh, I can't wait. I love Baumgartner. Listen, and the last time she was the co-main event on a Jake Paul card, she scraped the entirety of her opponent's face, which was well over a year ago. Alicia Baumgartner is something else, man. And I really do love the fact that Jake Paul has opened up an opportunity for female boxers outside of like the normal professional circuits. I mean, anybody that knows just women's boxing in general should know who Layla Ali is, should obviously know who Clarissa Shields is, should obviously know, and like going back into history and pioneerism, Holly Holm, okay, Lucia Riker, like going way back. So everybody should know the pretty much the primary ground for women's boxing and how it got to be where it is today. But again, with that help of Jake Paul and his promotion and really wanting to highlight female boxers, I absolutely love. I'm here for it. I need some of y'all to start opening up the heavyweight division, though. I'll tell you that. Need y'all to start opening up the heavyweight division, especially in boxing and women's MMA. Dana White, talking to you. Jake Paul, talking to you. Any promoter in the Michigan and Midwest area, I'm talking to you. Matt Truck needs a fight. So, get on it. Google me. I got tape. I'm better than I look. I can promise you that. Either way, the opportunities for women's sports, especially women's boxing, is where it's at. I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be completely nuts. I'm here for it. Love it here. Now, moving on into the last topic of our show. UFC 320 recap. Listen, I love the UFC. Obviously, love the UFC. Obviously, I love sports. Matt Truck Podcast. Look at the logo. Look at the office. Okay. Look at my hat. I mean, hell, look at my shirt. Team USA 2020. I mean, I'm a walking sports book. Okay. Listen, I get so thrilled about sports that me and my wife were at the thrifty store or the Goodwill or whatever the heck it's called, and I literally found, and it was like $3.99. Listen, I'm still jazzed about this game. Babe, if you're listening, I still want this game. Okay. Literally is an ESPN trivia game. Okay, 1,500 questions, one champion. I need it. I need this game. I have to have it. It will go well in the office. Listen, I am here for it. Like, listen, I'm giddy about a sports game because I'm a walking encyclopedia. Okay, love it here. Again, but you can make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Follow the Tired Sports Network. Also, big shout out to Cumulus Des Moines Podcast Network and Cumulus Radio Group in Des Moines, one of my former employers. Make sure you're following all of their shows as well. Make sure you're following their stations. They gave me the foundation to where I am now. So big shout out. Everybody tap the screen. Love them. We love them. Listen, UFC 320 did not disappoint. I'm so excited. Listen. Oh, man. UFC 320. And this was one that should have really happened back to back. But obviously, injuries, already decided on cards prior to this is what kind of set this back. Alex Pereira. Magomed Ankalaev. Light Heavyweight Championship Part 2. Okay, but before, Yuri Prochazka comes back into the octagon. Hits Khalil Roundtree with a knockout. Yuri Prochazka, now 32-5-1, was a minus 190 favorite going into this fight. Khalil Roundtree Jr. plus 170 favorite going into this fight, now 15-7-0. Like I said, Yuri Prochazka, crazy knockout in round 3 due to lots of uppercuts. Listen, I'm geeking out. I'm so excited to just be back in the space. I could poop rainbows right now. Okay? Could poop rainbows. I'm so excited. The fight card did not disappoint. Like I said, Yuri Prochazka came in and did his thing. Khalil Roundtree, I personally think, I think Khalil Roundtree just needs to move up to heavyweight. He would do so much damage if he put on a little bit more muscle. It's nuts. But sometimes when you try to put on muscle, it weighs you down. It's nuts. But, Khalil Roundtree is still a very respected individual in the realms of UFC. But now we're getting into the co-main event, which I was also very blown away by. Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen for the UFC undisputed bantamweight title. Unanimous decision also goes to Merab. He's now 21-4-0. Corey Sandhagen, who came into this fight, plus 325 on the betting favorites, which is kind of disrespectful. Y'all couldn't have put more money on him. Y'all had to make it plus 325. However, Merab was also a minus 400 favorite. So there's that. So I can't really complain. about it because it's only about 75-ish points between the two for him to either have come in even or for Merab to be the outright favorite. Either way, unanimous decision goes to Merab Dvalishvili, who retains his belt. 49-45 times 2 and 49-46 in favor of Merab Dvalishvili. I like him a lot. He's a fighter that's taken a lot of time for me to grow on, just because I wanted to be able to like watch his fights, learn the history about him, like how he got started, all the things. The dude's a workhorse. Dude is a workhorse. That's all he does is work. And he even said that during the post-fight interview with Joe Rogan during that fight that everybody tries to improve on what they can do to stay the same. He's constantly changing, constantly improving. You can see it from fight to fight. But in the same respect, Corey Sandhagen did the exact same thing. Corey Sandhagen, I feel personally, is very underrated. I mean, when you're working with the likes of Trevor Whitman, and if anybody knows who Trevor Whitman is, he is the man who created the Onyx brand and has really birthed pretty much the entirety of the current and past bantamweight legends. I mean, TJ Dillashaw, okay, Justin Gaethje, one man who's been a BMF type fighter and title challenger for all eternity in terms of his career. Okay, Kamaru Usman, former welterweight champion. Okay, Corey Sandhagen is not to be messed with. I'm telling you, Corey Sandhagen needs to get another title fight. And I think I'm not going to say it should be at 135 because I personally think if he moved up in weight too, he would just relinquish hell on anybody. I mean, he already does, but Merab Dvalishvili has walked through the entirety of the bantamweight division. But then we have this other guy named Sean O'Malley, who held the men's bantamweight title for a very long time. Do we see another rematch between Merab and Sean? Does Sean move up in weight too? Like, there's so many plot lines to this. It's ridiculous. I can't even sit here and fathom like what that could look like. Okay. Crazy to me. Moving on into the headliner. That was 320. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. Magomed Ankalaev came into this fight minus 245. Alex Pereira, who came into this fight plus 210, got his revenge. Now, anybody that saw the first fight knows that Alex Pereira went into this fight unhealthy. Came into this fight he was banged up and had an injury of a very significant injury of some sort where it caused him not to be able to kick. I believe it was a lower leg injury for the light heavyweight title. And Alex Pereira gets the job done. KO, TKO. For those of you who don't know, TKO means technical knockout, meaning there was a stoppage to the fight due to a defense. The opponent was defenseless, was on the verge of getting knocked out type of thing. Round 1, 2 minutes into the first round, Alex Pereira lights out elbow strikes. And anybody that knows the former rules of the UFC, you could never do a 12-6 elbow, which is straight up and down. So you can never come down straight down with an elbow and have it be a legitimate strike. It always had to be at an angle. So it either had to be 1-7. It could have been 6-11. It could have been 6-1. It could have been 12-5, but it could never be 6-12. And now that they've completely taken that rule out, people are out here just boom hitting elbows from going 6-12, going 12-6, going 9-3. I love throwing a 9-3. And listen, them elbows are sharp. Alex Pereira hit Magomed so hard, the mouth gag came out. I mean, y'all, if y'all watch pugilistic sports, when somebody gets punched, it is what it is. Listen, anybody that watches these sports knows that you're going to see body fluids and cuts and all kinds of things. That's exactly, and you can hear it. That's the thing is when somebody has knockout power, when you can hear it through the announcement, through the crowd, and it was clear as day. Click, douche, and all you heard was just elbow on cheek. It was like a slow-mo, like you just saw Alex put, and they showed it in slow-mo too. That was the crazy thing about this, is they showed these knockout elbows from Alex Padilla in slow motion. I was like, what? It was just like, it's like a flip book, like stages. You can see he set it up, then you see an elbow here, and the third one just comes straight across, and all you see is elbow, face, spit, sweat, blood, mouth guard on the ground. Like, it was bang, 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 bang. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff out here. And you love to see it. You love to see it. I mean, that is if you love these types of sports. If you don't love these types of sports, I think you should try to get into it. Listen, if you don't like hockey, y'all should definitely like boxing and UFC. Hell, if you like football, you should like boxing. Football, like, listen, pugilistic sports, contact sports, collision sports are literally a legal way to hit somebody. Quite literally a legal way to hit somebody. And I don't quite understand how more people don't love them. Obviously, this is me we're talking about. So, like, kind of a violent person, kind of aggressive. I like to punch air for fun. Just gonna throw that out there. Like, you know, come on. But either way, listen, man, I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad you guys joined me today. That's all we have for the docket today. Like I said, long docket. It's been a little bit, but guess what? We will be back tomorrow. I'm excited to start getting these strings and things back together. Okay. Like I said, make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all of the things. Social media wise, make sure you're following the Tired Sports Network. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing over here on this stream, StreamYard, Facebook Live, all the things on this stream. Okay, TikTok Live. We love the TikTok shop. We love everything TikTok has to offer in terms of a platform as well. Okay, make sure you're hitting me up for merch. If you don't have any, y'all should know how to find me. I'm pretty much on my phone like 25/8 or whatever. Okay, 367. Okay. Like, I'm here for it. Excited. Let's do it. Okay. Tomorrow's show will be a little bit later. Like, actually later. Exactly, Evan. Listen. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. You know, it's like Kim Possible, but Mack truck. And I don't have red hair. Whoa. Okay, I don't have bright red hair. Page me. Yeah. Kick me in behind. Something. Throw a football at me. Throw me on a cliff. Okay. You know, Mac Possible is crazy, babe. Also, listen, before we go, again, everybody type in the comments in capital letters, hey, babe. Just tell her, hey, because she loves it. She secretly loves it and just won't admit it. But that's all we have for you guys today. Like I said, thank you for joining me. Like I said, we're back when we start being, you know, weekly, all the things. I'm excited to be here. Tomorrow's show will consist of recaps of the opening nights for NBA basketball. Oh, so glad NBA is back. Listen, here's a little snippet for you. The fact that my Golden State Warriors look like they're replenished when it comes to the guard position is crazy. Al Horford in a Warriors uniform, I never in life thought I would see. Also going to preview UFC 321. Okay. Tommy Aspinall versus Cyril Gahn for the heavyweight title. And might have a special guest too. Guess y'all gonna have to stay tuned to figure that out. If you know, you know. Okay. Also gonna preview Thursday Night Football amongst a lot of other things. So again, I love it here. I love you here. I love sports, clearly. Like, I literally have old UFC in the background. Okay. Like, well, you can see on this screen, on TikTok, you can't see the background. Either way. We're back, guys. Listen, I don't know if you can tell by the electric smile on my face right now that I'm pumped to be here. Quite literally, pumped to be here. I love it here. And yeah, listen, and I'm seeing the comments here on both sides. The Knicks and Cavaliers game is on. That one's going to be nuts, too. There's so much sports to be had. Like, been driving myself crazy. Should have literally wanted to run my face into a wall because I haven't been able to do the show. We're back. Be excited if you're not while you're watching. Okay. Also, this is a friendly reminder to let some of you guys know that just because it is the holiday season with one specific holiday called Thanksgiving coming up, that does not give y'all a reason to start slinging around that nasty crap called green bean casserole. Okay, and if I catch any of y'all sending me some green bean casserole, we're gonna have problems. Don't send me pictures of that. Don't talk about how good it is because it's funky nasty. Ain't no flavor. Y'all would put a little onion crumb. Don't start. Listen, Matt Trump also has her top 10 foods of top 10 list of disgusting foods. Green bean casserole is literally on that list. Revamping it for 2025. So don't do that. Don't send me pictures. Don't be like, oh, Lisa. No, y'all better not have that at your dinners because if you invite me, I'm talking about you. Okay, talking about you. Don't do that. Okay, green bean casserole is not a dish that is loved. And if you love it, then you're weird. Nasty. Put some seasoning in y'all food, hell. Jeez, listen. I don't love pictures. And get you a best friend that will literally harass you like your wife. And get you a wife that's your best friend. Okay? Babe, if you're still watching, I love you. Best friend, text me. Okay, y'all can text me, call me. Don't see. Listen, I'm trying to get over here, and Evan out here just doing it. I also very much dislike them imposter zebra cakes that Little Debbie thinks is okay to come out with this time of year. Okay, don't send me no boxes of them damn Little Debbie Christmas trees. Okay, because I will throw them back at you. I might eat one, but I'm gonna throw them back at you. Okay, listen, because this is not it. Don't. He said cases. Listen, now I'm just having fun with y'all, but I thank y'all and appreciate y'all for being in here. In the illustrious words of Ellen DeGeneres, be kind to one another. In the illustrious words of the great Yinza himself, Pat McAfee, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. In the illustrious words of myself, and shout out to the great Prescott Kelly, P. Scott, okay, the host of the Playbook Podcast. You can find that on the Sports Avengers Network as well as Spotify and anything else. Okay. Stay up, stay blessed, stay tuned, and stay sporty. We'll see you tomorrow.